My name is David Nicholson, and I'm a staff at Headwaters, a program director. And Headwaters Foundation is it's a community foundation, but it's a community not of a geographic community, but an ideological community.
I do work with organizations that are community grounded in one way or another, and who are looking for their work to be flourishing.
What this workshop resource gathering is all about is it's an opportunity for organizations to rethink how they see themselves in relationship to community, and to rethink how they look at sustaining their work as a time to kind of build community. So it starts out with an opportunity for people to tell their birth stories or their creation stories of their organization.
Good morning, I'm Bill Marcella. I'm the Director of Stewardship and Development for the Normandale Evangelical Lutheran Church in Edina. And this is the church that's celebrating its 60th anniversary this year.
We don't have any funds, so we are actually working out on a volunteer basis, and have been for a couple of years now.
Because that fuel, the vibrancy of why an organization exists is an important piece to what they need to sustain. So we started with the creation stories. We went to some tools about how they look at their community, who's in their community.
Write down some specific people, because what we're going to be doing throughout the day is we're going to be taking these pieces that we do in small group and we're going to put them together in a resource development plan. Okay?
And gaining these people with some of these expertise,
One of the things we invite the people we work with to do is to set aside some location in their office, if they have an office, in their home, if that's where they do their work, and cover a wall with some white paper. And on that paper, spend some constant time looking and saying, who's our community? Who do we know? Now, community can be a bunch of people. Community are the folks that we are interdependent with. So they are the people for whom our work directly impacts their lives, and if our work were to go away, their lives would be directly affected by that.
If you're working with an agency that's partnering with you, but could live independently without you, are they in the care about it column or invested in your work?
Maybe there's some other sort of arrangements that can be worked out because your relationship is more interdependent than you thought.
What are the resources that your organization needs, or your work needs? And I want you to think, as you want to join too probably, think as broadly as possible. So of course, money, let's be straight up in the beginning. Money's right there, we all know that one.
money, we need location, we need partnership, we need staff, we need volunteers.
You have like the seniors, you have the youth program, so having role models. College, remember you started talking about getting engaged when you were in college. That's great. Definitely. How do we engage other kids or other students at college level?
So you have foundations who are shifting and changing their criteria, and then you have more and more individuals who do have significant personal wealth, sort of putting them into individual foundations or individual funds that actually make those individuals and their dollars less accessible. And resource gathering says what we need to do our work is broad. Dollars are certainly a part of it, but there's a lot that we need. We need the material goods to support our infrastructure. We need the wisdom of people who have information and experience that will help us. We need just plain people hours. We need a whole bunch of stuff. And half the time we're not exactly sure what we need, because what we need actually also grows out of the work.
Just someone that has had some experience and some professionalism in working with the issues that we're talking about to come in and work with us.
So what I hear from that then is saving time and energy by not reinventing stuff that other folks already know how to do. So a resource of time is also saved within that. Is that a fair reading of that?
What's really funny is these tools that we introduced were things they've already used, and they were just talking about their experiences and then writing down ways that they could learn from each other and learn from their own wisdom and their experience of how to do this work. The small groups were really exciting and the core of our workshop. And what I saw happening was, as people started to familiarize themselves not only with a new way of looking at sustaining their organization, but at the practical skills and the action steps that they could actually take when they went back home, it was really exciting to see individuals giving ideas about, well, how they might do something. Well, this is a community that we work with, and this is what we
MBA
try.
program, actually, they have to do community service. So
And
because
Augsburg.
in Augsburg, and because we don't have, we do have some writers, but I'm not a professional writer. We have several small newspapers in our area.
So it's good, I'm glad we're kind of focusing in on volunteers because that's actually a really important piece. But again, how we ask them is important.
I think the realization that we do have a lot of resources in our community, and how just thinking about how do I connect to them, and that not necessarily, as David said, looking necessarily being concerned about where's the wealth, but where, what are the other resources, and thinking about resources more broadly than just dollars.
So fundraising usually says, let's look 1 year and at the most 3 years. And so we're building our budgets and our programs in this very short-term view. Resource gathering says, let's look at the very least in 10-year chunks. And truthfully, we really want to look at generations. We really want to think of ourselves as being involved in building connections and building movement towards whatever our particular goal is, whatever our particular area.
Communicate what your value is. When people right now see it as something that is just inherent, that the river's always going to be there, or they're farming next to it. I'm always going to be able to take water out of there and feed my cattle.
So then the tools that we use look at different ways to build relationships across all of that, and not relationships that are superficial, that are just, oh wow, you're on our mailing list, you'll get a newsletter, and once a year you'll get a letter asking for dollars. We're asking folks to bring them in even more deeply.
I'm very glad that I came, and I have, looking at some of the tools that people are using, I think we can certainly incorporate some of those into what we do.
I think just the term resource gathering as opposed to fundraising, and trying to think about it in that respect, and also trying to think about, well, who does really care about what we're trying to accomplish, and how do we reach them?
Reconnecting to the community, and then that's our history, that's our origin. Those are the people who care.
These really, really hard questions. And one of the things it's allowed our organization to do was to really change the way we've looked at fundraising traditionally. Like I said, we started from a giving circle of 6 wealthy people to now where we have, 60% or so of our resources come from average people.
To shift that, to flip that script, really, if you will, where instead of chasing the money, you're chasing the community's interests and motivation back into the work, and getting them to buy into and invest in. We're really hoping that people see how people can invest in their organization and really open doors for that investment.